What does redemption look like after more than 2 decades behind bars?
I got locked up about a month after my 18th birthday. I served approximately 22 years in the Department of Corrections in the state of Connecticut.
But prison didn't break him. It became the place where he learned accountability, community, and healing.
Because my best days in there were spent with you all, where I learned lessons about how to laugh, how to love, how to cry, despite being in an institution that's built for harm.
Now, Collins is a poet, activist, and student, dedicated to helping others find their way.
I'm a full-time student at Wesleyan University, where I'll be completing my bachelor's degree in the spring for African American Studies. I'm a new hire at Quinnipiac University, where I work with Quinnipiac University's higher education in prison lab, and I'm the community coordinator for that. And essentially what that role is I help men and women who were doing college and prison.
This isn't just a story of survival. It's a story of transformation.
They tried to bury us, but didn't realize that we were seeds.
Tune in as Collins shares his journey from incarceration to inspiration and proves that change is possible, even when the odds are stacked against you.
So thank you for joining another episode of Locked Up and Locked Out, the podcast. My distinguished guest today is a near and dear brother of mine, Shakur. Tell little people your name, who you are, you know what I'm saying, where you come from and things of that, and nature.
Of course, my name is Shakur Collins.
Okay.
I'm a poet, an artist, an activist, a student, formerly incarcerated person. That's kind of like how we met.
Yes.
I served approximately 22 years in the Department of Corrections in the state of Connecticut. I got locked up about a month after my 18th birthday.
Right.
And in that time, it took a lot of developing and learning how to build relationships, learning how to heal. And after serving, that time, I've been home about 8 months and a half now. And in the interim of that, I became I got licensed in human resources.
All right.
I work for a private company in North Carolina that helps loved ones who helps families who have loved ones with autism.
Oh, great.
So I work in the human resources department doing that virtually. I'm a full-time student at Wesleyan University, where I'll be completing my bachelor's degree in the spring for African American Studies. I'm a new hire at Quinnipiac University, where I work with Quinnipiac University's higher education in prison lab, and I'm the community coordinator for that. And essentially what that role is I help men and women who were doing college and prison get the resources that they need when they come home. So if they want to continue, pursuing higher education, that, they have those resources available to them.
That's beautiful.
What else do I do? I'm doing a million jobs.
Hats.
Yeah. And then, when I have free time, I'm steadily doing my poetry and going to different events, trying to perform.
That's beautiful, man. I don't know where to begin. You got me stumped. But these are the many things that I try to tell and show my listening audience that just because we made the wrong detour or a turn, that people feel as though they can write us off and pigeonhole us and say that you have no redeemable qualities or you're not fit for society. But I believe, that only Allah knows, best.
For sure.
And the amazing things that you do, and many other my distinguished guests do, just I believe shows society that people deserve a second chance in life. And shouts out to Quinnipiac colleges and all the other various colleges that are encompassing these type of programs to help brothers and sisters coming out of that war to be able to further their education, because a rich mind leads to things that you do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And various other brothers and sisters do that's unspoken or unheard of. So what do a sense of community mean to you, and like, what is your driving force, you know what I'm saying? What drives you, Mr. Collins, to be, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Collins? Like, because you can be doing anything you want. You could have came back into society mad that you done this time. And what is some of the things from your earlier years of understanding the missteps, you know what I'm saying, that help guide you, you know what I'm saying, to become your moral compass to gear you to, you know what I'm saying, the man that I know and love, you know what I'm saying, and many other people have come to love and admire, you know what I'm saying?
I think to the first part of your question about like sense of community, so I guess I should start with this. I am not a native person from Connecticut.
Right.
I'm originally from Massachusetts, and I also grew up in New York City, right, Queens, right? So being like a foreigner, right, if you will, I had to learn how to integrate into a population that may have or may not have wanted me to be a part. And so like and I had to do that in prison. Right. So like my sense of community, coming from the places that I do come from, like out in Mass and Queens, like I had a strong sense of community, right? But also at the same time, I was very much like an unhealthy, introverted person, right? I was very much like an isolation type person. So going into prison, I didn't have the kinds of skills it took at the time to learn, to know how to be in healthy relationship and community. So when I really started developing that, it certainly was around the time when I got around older brothers like yourself, right? I think the time that I got around you all, it was critical, it was pivotal, right? Because I didn't know how to be in community, and I happened to find myself in a space despite the larger structure that is prison, right? Where brothers were determined, like, nah, we in prison, but we don't gotta act like it, right? And like there's the saying, like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, but you all showed me, like, nah, when in Rome, be better than the Romans. Right. And so to be able to be a part, watch you all in real time, and then like learn, and even learn how to make mistakes and take accountability for those mistakes. And I think in part that helped me learn how to take accountability for what even got me in prison, right? Now, certainly that didn't happen in a vacuum, right? I'll be the first to tell you, like, I take full responsibility for what I did. Somebody lost their life, and I take responsibility for that.
And that's another thing what this show is about. It's like, it's not just, you know, you've been wrongly convicted. We've made wrong moves in our lives that have long lasting effects on both sides. The victim and the victimist, you know what I'm saying?
The victim, my family, the community.
Because it's one, you know what I'm saying? We are one, you know what I'm saying? No matter how we like to try to dice it and separate it, we all feel the remnants of the loss of a person from the community, regardless of what they was doing, you know what I'm saying, or how, you know, it came about. nobody should feel that pain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly, I think being around you, it got me to a point where, because, at the time I'm 23, 24 years old, still trying to figure it out. And, from the time I was locked, I started that time of incarceration up until that point. Like, I wasn't doing the right things, but I got around some brothers that was like, nah, this is how we move. We take accountability for our lives.
Right.
And, like, I was embraced into that. And so, like, my sense of community, where I started to embrace that community back, certainly started with y'all. That's not to say that I didn't have community, because I've always had a supportive mother, right? I've had supportive siblings, right? Aunts, uncles who were also crucial in my healing process through my incarceration. Right, but for my sense of community, it's something that I really started to embrace with brothers like yourself, Sheen, Matrix, Big Tone, all of you brothers like embrace me in that. And
because I believe, you know what I'm saying, you didn't just warp into the fine young man that you are today, but it was a sense of pride, like knowing that you can be all you can be, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the confines of, you know what I'm saying, what encompass our life right at this particular time. And we have to build a better brand, you know what I'm saying? Our very essence is our brand, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to be the narrative of my story. So I have to rewrite the pages, you know what I'm saying, to show people, nah, you don't get to say who I am and just color me as this heinous or this evil, vindictive person, you know what I'm saying, that's unfit for society. And I believe what you're saying is that you had room to grow and be your own person, you know what I'm saying, and monitor, you know what I'm saying, actually in real time, how dudes deal with heated situations, you know what I'm saying, something that could come, you know what I'm saying, to a situation where you got 300 men going crazy, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, certainly, the lessons that I learned while incarcerated, like, I can't learn them on no academic campus, couldn't learn them in high school. Like, it's just interesting, because I heard a friend, I was talking with a friend, and he said, my worst day out here is better than my best day in there. And I couldn't agree with that. Right. Because my best days in there was spent with you all, while I learned lessons about, like, how to laugh, how to love, how to cry, despite being in an institution that's built for harm. Right. And those lessons helped carry me into a world where, like, now I get to move in a way that feels really liberating. Right.
It really is. People, like, astonished, like a better word, is like, how, you know what I'm saying, you do all that time and come out, you know what I'm saying, like you unscathed. I said, well, fine tutoring, you know what I'm saying, like, it took us to be our own social workers. You know what I'm saying?
It was a commitment.
Yes, we were dedicated to true change, you know what I'm saying? And it always started with looking that person in the face in the mirror.
Yeah, you had to come to terms with yourself. And the thing is, like, my successes aren't my own alone. No. First, I'm Muslim. I believe in like a creator helping me through this. But I also know, like, I've been given access to support networks. And, like, it's interesting because all of the success that I've been able to establish for myself while incarcerated, I don't want that to undermine the real traumas of mass incarceration.
Absolutely not.
Right? Because people will hear those stories and be like, oh, like, the logics are like, oh, they can do it. No. Look at this feel-good story. And that's not always the case. There are people in real time dealing with real traumatic things. Right?
And we've seen these things play out. You know what I'm saying? It was just Allah's will that we had been in a community within a community within a community.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have the jail and what that encompassed. all the different components, you know what I'm saying? The guards, the warden, you know what I'm saying, on how they're moving and how they want, you know what I'm saying, to break things up, or how they perceive, you know what I'm saying, things to be.
Yeah.
And then you have the jail politics, the mechanics of that, you know what I'm saying? And if each one of us wasn't who we were, to allow the comfortability, you know what I'm saying, situation to whereas, because each one of us separately was, you know what I'm saying, people that was respected.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think one of the things that we learn, right, is that despite what a system was telling us who we are, right, we learn how to use those qualities that they deemed like irredeemable or negative into qualities that, you know, benefited first ourselves, then our families, then our communities.
Sure,
and, you know, I've always started to, like, since being around you brothers, I always ask myself, what kind of person am I if I'm not bettering myself, bettering my family, and bettering my community, right? And I think all of that stuff can be done without the expense of coming at other people. And so, you know, like where I'm at right now is like, okay, I went through that thing. How can I make the landing softer, just a little bit softer for other men and women coming home, right? And not just coming home, but those who are in there. Right. How can I honor those who have died in there? Right. Right.
That will never leave.
Yeah. So, you know, like, yes, I like to think of my life as a success story, but it's not one that I would recommend and like wouldn't encourage the logics of, well, it's okay that people get locked up.
Because we define the odds, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, because we seen death, a lot of death, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Within the walls, we seen bloodshed, you know what I'm saying?
And then the traumatic toll.
Exactly. I was going to get to that because, like, day to day, like, getting a letter, you know what I'm saying, slid up on your door where a family member has just passed away, and you wasn't furnished the opportunity to say goodbye, or call, when you get that call from the captain's office saying you got to come down. We all know what that encompasses, you know what I'm saying? Especially for, you know what I'm saying, brothers that's in our community. I'm like, oh man, that ain't good, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's a willpower. It's a willpower for sure. It's community. Survival. It's willpower. But it's more than for us. I think it's more than just having survived prison. It's us. We have thrived throughout prison, despite prison. And you know, there's a Mexican proverb I love, which says, "They tried to bury us, but didn't realize that we were seeds." Right. They threw us in a cage, and the expectation was that we were just going to go in there and ride.
We wouldn't flourish.
They couldn't see this. They couldn't see you doing what you're doing. They couldn't. I mean, to be honest, I couldn't see it at the time. Right.
It's a saying, can't see it for the wilderness, the forest of the trees. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The wilderness of the trees, or what have you. I know I jacked that one up, you know what I'm saying? But the more of it is, you know what I'm saying, like, it's so dense that you can't see the sun on the other side. But to see the sun now on this side and see that, because we didn't come out unscathed. We were touched, you know what I'm saying? For sure. By the emotional aspect of, you know what I'm saying, how heavy it was, you know what I'm saying? And to spare anybody coming behind us, you know what I'm saying, or to lend a shoulder to the people that's going through it right now, you know what I'm saying, is everything. And just to bring awareness to, like, to show, like, we're vibrant, we understand better than anybody, you know what I'm saying, what it takes to help, you know what I'm saying, and provoke true change. You know what I'm saying? And what does that true change look like? It looks like me, you, and the other brothers, you know what I'm saying, Ray and.
But that started with an attitude while we were inside. That we're in prison, but we're not letting the prison dictate who we choose to be.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Because we held each other accountable.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you represent us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go out, we got our pants, you know what I'm saying, pulled up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we like, nah, man, we ain't here. You know what I'm saying? We here, but we ain't here. We ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? You can't touch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't deserve that.
That's a fact.
So it's like coming here into a free society, you're only as free as your mind. So if man be mind, a true thinking, analytical, you know what I'm saying, analytical type person that we thrive to be, we understand that it's a sense of God, family, community, you know what I'm saying, and the compass one, you know what I'm saying. It's just, you know what I'm saying, one is higher, you know what I'm saying, and he deserves to be higher.
For sure.
But when we see children lost because the structure of family has been broken down and decimated, you know what I'm saying, to whereas it's like almost non-existent.
Well, I think on a micro level, certainly that matters, having structure in the home. But particularly when we start expanding out and you think about like the communities we come up from, like lack of access, yo.
Right.
And then we're criminalized for the lack of access, right? And so I think a real conversation has to happen, and we as what they call as citizens have to hold those in power accountable for the way these powers are exercised, right?
That's why the power of voting.
Listen, you're not going to find nobody more critical than the political realm than I am. But I also know that just idly sitting on my hands complaining is not going to change anything.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a matter of, yes, holding their feet to the fire, critiquing the system, but also saying like, yo, something needs to be done.
I'm not on agreement with this. You know what I'm saying? This is not conducive.
Yeah,
you know
and there's certainly space for both, right? Like there's space for both. Like both things can be true. Where I am critical of the system, but I also know that to have any kind of change, right?
We have to work with the system
because that's what it calls for.
Right, absolutely. And there's many different perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But to get to, you know what I'm saying, that common ground to whereas people are marrying one another, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of coming to the table with true thought-provoking changes, you know what I'm saying, that will encompass and make everybody's life enricher.
For sure.
It takes that hard conversation that you may not like, you know what I'm saying? It may make you uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? But we can do it in a respectful, tasteful manner to whereas we can all walk away better individuals, you know what I'm saying, for that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a lot of healing.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because truth be told, like, we went through a vigorous training that I could have skipped altogether, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was a painful, you know what I'm saying, training, you know what I'm saying? And no, like I said, nobody came out of the other side unscathed, you know what I'm saying? We all have our little baggage to work through. That's why I say it's important for us to seek psychology, you know what I'm saying? A psychiatrist.
Listen, I go to therapy once a week, every Monday. I'm at my therapist, and I got shout out to my therapist, Michelle.
Yeah. And I would love to have, you know what I'm saying, a therapist up here, and reach out to me, you know what I mean? Because it seems to be missed, you know what I'm saying, on society as a whole to how important mental health is. We lost a friend that was near and dear.
Abdullah, yeah.
And it still pains me.
Yeah.
Because here it is, we thought this brother had it all together and he was well, you know, and turned out he wasn't well.
Yeah.
So like these missed opportunities we can't afford to have anymore.
Yeah.
In the sense that, you know what I'm saying, strong-minded people that can push the needle in the right way be lost to life pressure, you know what I'm saying? Things that, you know what I'm saying, they feel as though their back is against the wall, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody back is against the wall to whereas they're not in the position to reach out and ask for help.
It's I think it's like, it's
Pride.
such an interesting paradigm because like, and I'm always thinking about Abdullah.
Yes. I mean,
There's times when I'm questioning myself, like, yo, what could I have done?
absolutely.
But I think that, you know, over time and like healing from it, like I had to get to a place where what he did can't be a cross that I bear.
Right.
But now, how do I take that and offer myself to those who I care about without it coming at the expense of myself either? And that's always like a slippery slope.
Right.
And it's always a shifting paradigm, right? You know, like I still talk with men and women, my brothers back on the inside, right? And like who are dealing with these type of real things. And it's like, how can I show up for this person while I still also learn? Like I remember when I first came home, I never walked into a bank before. Never mind open a bank account. But the real life trauma that I was experiencing going into that place. But then I also had to take a phone call not moments ago to my friend who's talking about like he wants to end it. Because the pressures. Right. And so like how are we healing from that? And I think that, you know, especially as incarcerated people and formerly incarcerated people, there's this easiness from society to discard us. So that's why I think it's extremely important and necessary even that like the community that help us survive while we're in there and thrive while we're in there, that it's important that, you know, we keep those relationships.
So one of the things that I'm trying to bridge right now is having a gateway to whereas brothers and sisters that's coming out, when you come out, you meet me or others, you know what I'm saying, like me, to whereas we carry you or help you transition through the beginning months, you know what I'm saying, of, you know what I'm saying, your reentry into your life, you know what I'm saying, because your sense of comfortability, understanding, you know, I just did 30. You just did 22. You know what I'm saying? You know what it's like to be on that side, going through exactly what they're going through, feeling exactly what they're feeling at that time and moment. You know what I'm saying? Because it was gut wrenching just walking into a convenience store. Trying, you know what I'm saying, to buy some gum, or I remember a dude just like, yo man, can you buy me a pack of cigarettes when you go to the store? I said, yeah, ain't no problem. Not to know that you need an ID. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't even got an ID. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, gotta go back to the old school dude, like, man, I can't buy it. I ain't have no ID. You know what I'm saying? He said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. You know what I'm saying? But it was like a level of trauma, like, man, I don't even look like no young kid, you know what I'm saying? You pushing, telling me I gotta give you an ID for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we don't, the system they don't talk about these things, like, right? And there's this expectation like, oh, you just go with the flow. Right? And but going with the flow is
go right back in there.
Yeah, and because, listen, And I learned to appreciate, this is not to absolve men and women who are recidivizing,
Right.
but it helped me appreciate why they do, right? Sometimes it's easier to face that kind of trauma than to engage with different
The
types
unknown.
of trauma. The unknown, right?
Right.
And it's like domestic violence victims.
Absolutely.
They'll stay in a relationship forever
Just because they know it's expected.
Yeah, I know what this violence brings.
Right.
This kind of, and that's a scary thing. You know what I mean?
It really is.
You know, for me, that's part of like the healing process of, you know, preparing like my friends and my brothers, and they're like, yo, this is what we can expect. And the thing is, we might go through the same thing and experience it totally different. And I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is that I'm here to help you through the process. And I think that's the most important thing, because it's gonna be strange. Like even sometimes your own family won't be able to appreciate, and that's not a bad or good thing. It's just a thing. So now, how do we figure it out together?
Because I'm you know, have conversations with certain administrators, you know, commissioners and things, people that work in these places, to have an understanding that we need each other. You know what I'm saying? Because having us position can help ease, you know what I'm saying, the stresses of, you know what I'm saying, the correctional.
Listen, we have to hold the system to account, because the thing is by its very nature and how it's designed, it's designed to disrupt filial and familial relationships. But what are they like? When I first came home, the people who were bringing me to college on college campus was people on parole. But parole says I can't be around other parole. Like, make that make sense. It's not we going out committing crimes. Like, these are the men helping me go.
Trying to make you be better, or that you can be moving forward in life.
So it's also like calling to them to account as much as we call our own selves to account.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, I don't have a driving license. I don't have a means to get my driving license unless somebody else who has been here long enough, or a family member takes time out their busy schedule in life to help aid me in recovering my life. Like, and oftentimes, there's nothing, you know what I'm saying, in place to structurally help you become all that you can be moving forward back into society, to be this success. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to applaud yourself and say, not us, but, you know what I'm saying, the powers to be, is like, oh yeah, they did it, you know what I'm saying? No, they did it with the helps of other people that was willing to pause their life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in a society saying we want better, what are you giving forward, paying forward to help the community be better? Because with us being healed and us, you know what I'm saying, being the people that we are, we're helping our community as well. Through the various things that we've implemented, you know what I'm saying, the programs that we're implementing, you know what I'm saying, oftentimes is missed because we're not in the political circles, you know what I'm saying, that the governor, you know what I'm saying, and all these other distinguished people are in, you know what I'm saying? But somewhat, you know, I mean, it's not that we need to be.
No, I think there's certainly but
we need to be understood. You know what I'm saying? That we're here, that we're encompassing change. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Now, I think there are people who need to be in those spaces. I mean, for me, like, I had a friend ask me. She said, when I graduated, I want to think about getting into like policy. I'm not built for that. Well, I know what I'm built for. I know what it is to look a 13-year-old in the eye who's struggling. And like, yo, I'm here to try to help you heal. I don't know what it's like to be up in them halls, but there are those who have those qualifications and should be, right? Because these issues need to be addressed at every angle.
Absolutely, on every platform. You know what I'm saying? To whereas policies are being changed. You know what I'm saying? And people are listening.
I'm not trying to be nobody's MLK. You know what I'm saying? Me. But I do want to bring healing to the community that I'm a part of.
So, how was it, or have you, in your brief encounters home, brushed into people that was affected by, you know what I'm saying, the situation that landed you in prison?
Nah, so part of my parole is that I can't have the contact with the family.
Okay.
But they are literally, like, quite literally on the other side of the state. Actually, they're not even from Connecticut.
Okay.
And you know, it's I don't know.
Sobering in a sense sometimes.
It's interesting because, like, I'm big on, like, restorative justice, and part of restorative justice is like victimizer who has also been a victim. Like, they come together and talk about, like, healing. It's something that's collective, right? I don't think our system calls for that kind of collective healing. It just makes these binary oppositions that says this person did this bad thing to these people, they've suffered, and so, like, there should be this carried frustration and anger. And listen, I hope more than anything that family heals. I mean, right? I really do. Yes. But I also know that that can't be a prison for me either.
No, absolutely not.
And I know how much that can consume people, and I hope that, you know, they get to a place where they heal.
I mean, absolutely. Now, the reason I ask you a hard question like that is that, you know, oftentimes we place these burdens on ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And this it's sad that somebody lost their life, you know what I'm saying? To any type of violence, but being responsible and doing the right thing, I believe, is a part of the healing, and part of showing that family that your loss is not lost on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm saddened that situation even took place, but at the same time, I'm going to, from this day forward, pay it forward, you know what I'm saying? Like, by doing great things with the youth, you know what I'm saying? Curbing violence, you know what I'm saying? Where I see it, you know what I'm saying? Just being the honorable human being.
Prison was a traumatic thing for me, but that wasn't the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. The hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was heal. Yes. Right? And so for me, like, I remember I had a conversation with my brother while I was in there, and he said, like, I appreciate, like, what you're doing is dope, but the real test starts when you come home. And for me, it was like, nah, the real test starts when I wake up. I could die in here. Right. But when I'm thinking about restorative justice, the family not thinking when he come home, like, nah. You on that? No. And they might not even value or appreciate, like, oh, this person's putting in the effort to try to heal himself so that no more harm is caused. But for me, it was always like, yo, how can I heal so that this thing that happens never happens again? Right? That man dying wasn't like, yo, you was my enemy. Like, I hated you. Like, it was wild circumstances. That happened. I mean, and by no way do I try to minimize that. And part of my not minimizing is like, yo, taking account of myself no matter where I'm at. Absolutely.
And that's where, you know, true transformation took place. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not making I'm not trying to run away from or minimize who I once was. You know what I'm saying? I own
all of it.
Right. By my ways and my actions today, allow that to be the narrative that's being written. You know what I'm saying? To show you who I am. Because I ain't got a front for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I am who I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do nothing about it. Like, but it's not about that. It's about showing myself that I deserve to be accounted for, that I'm a great person, you know what I'm saying? That I have great things to give the world, you know what I'm saying? And to show my family, my mother, my father, my siblings, you know what I'm saying? That, yo, their brother, their child, you know what I'm saying, is greatness in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think for me that was a large part of it, because like my mom during my whole incarceration and even afterwards she has been, but that's my mom's, right?
Right.
And so for her, like I didn't want. Even to this day, like I'm hoping that I'm making her proud, and like, yo, all of that stuff, that the unhealthy stuff that we experience, like turning that into something where it's like it wasn't for nothing, right? Like them nights you had to worry about me being out in them streets or even being in the prison, like all of that wasn't for nothing. Like right now, you know, like I do this for me, but the subsequent thing is like I do this also for the people who have supported me.
Right, absolutely.
You know,
well deserving. You know what I'm saying? Like they stood by you, do good, bad, and indifferent. You know what I'm saying? Like those were the people that was your backbone. You know what I'm saying? And to give yourself, you know what I'm saying, that room to grow, to be that responsible adult. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? May Allah always be pleased with you. You know what I'm saying? And all the great things that encompass. You know what I'm saying? And things that you're on the rise to display. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Through your works, man. Your many works. How do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are some of the things that you want to submit?
So in the next 5 years, certainly, like I expect to have graduated, gotten my master's degree as a social worker, you know, and really opening up a clinic in underserved communities. I have a partner, she's a LPN, and the way things is looking, I like where we're heading. Okay. So I'm looking to be married, have a home. My mother should be retired by then.
Great.
You know, while I was incarcerated, I got clinical skills so that in the event my mother needs assistance, we're not putting her in a home.
Right.
You know what I mean, we can take care of her. So I hope to have a home where, you know, she has her space and, you know, raise a family and just give back to the community that I once harmed. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for me, that pathway looks through, like, it's through education, right? And really just trying to, like I said, open up a clinic in underserved communities, and then really start engaging with the Department of Corrections about how we can shift the narrative about how we actually help people heal, so that when they come home, they're not angered or bitter or whatever the case is, but they're healed so that they can be, you know, contributing parts to the communities.
That's so, you know what I'm saying, enriched. And I wouldn't expect nothing else, you know what I'm saying, from you, because these are the very things that we worked on when we was there together, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it came full circle, like speaking, you know what I'm saying? Conducting classes, you know what I'm saying? Teaching brothers how to do Arabiya, you know what I'm saying? Chopping it up, still sticking with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a God-given talent, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's special because you could have been doing anything. I mean, when I say anything, you could have been involved with anything, because it was all there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, what I've learned is human beings are resilient. When I think about our own lived experience, when I do this, the history on like survivors in the Holocaust, or, you know, Africans in the transatlantic slave trade, like all of these traumas people are experiencing in these violent institutions, but yet people still find a way to build community, find love, find happiness. Like where we was at, you know, it's easy to always be angry.
Right, because it was a dark and dim place.
But we found pockets to laugh.
Right.
Cry and just be
us.
Be community and heal, right? And I think those, unfortunately, that we are the exception to the rule, and it doesn't have to be that way. Right?
I remember distinctively, there's one issue where it could have just went so bad. We was in Juma.
Oh yeah.
And
it
if I would have dropped the match, the whole, like,
it could have got bad.
The whole prison system would have been something different. You know what I'm saying? But patience and allowing God to work, you know what I'm saying? He definitely had his hand on the situation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And I just say that to say he had his hand on us, you know what I'm saying, guiding us, you know what I'm saying, where we needed to be, you know what I'm saying, throughout, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't have a vision to understand what was going on and why we was doing the things that we was even doing.
Yeah.
We was just doing it, you know what I'm saying, because it felt right.
Yeah. Listen, I think you feel the same way, and I'm not going to sit up here and try to preach and right. But I know how essential, you know, faith was for me, right? Like that was part of my healing process, right?
It definitely was mine. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it still is. You know,
absolutely.
I'm practicing Muslim to this day.
Absolutely.
Right? And I don't take that for granted. And that's not to say like, yo, everybody. That's your relationship with whoever, whatever you believe,
God, or whatever you do.
But I know what has helped me heal and be the kind of man that, like, if I died in this moment, I could be proud of.
Yeah.
That has a lot to do with it for me.
Like, patience, caring, loving, humbled, respectful.
For sure.
These things I didn't have, certain things I didn't have in my arsenal. But through the mercy of Allah, now I have these things and I show them. And, you know, I'm not perfect.
At all.
I'm never going to be perfect. Never profess to be perfect. Never will come close to being perfect. But I try to show respect to everybody.
Consistency.
And it's only through his mercy that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we get rambunctious, you know what I'm saying? We feeling, you know what I'm saying? It's the type of way when people ruffle our feathers.
Listen, I won't get too religious, but there's a story in the Quran about Yusuf, also known in the Bible as Joseph, Yusuf alayhi salam, right? And when his brothers betrayed him and he was thrown into a prison, only to be in that prison for many years and then come home and be an ambassador and leader in the place, the same country that enslaved him, right? And imprisoned him. And so, like, I think about our stories, and like during the time we were in those prisons, like, I don't know if you could have seen yourself here. I don't know that I could have seen myself as a 40-year-old senior on Wesley's campus, graduated with high honors, right?
Yes.
But I know that, like, you know, sometimes you can't see these things, but it's a matter about just you can't see, just be present,
right,
and have discipline and dedication. And what I've discovered is, you know, on the other side of those things, they usually work out to my favor. Right? I mean,
listen, man, this has been an honor, man. You know what I'm saying? And long awaited time just to sit down and have this discussion, man. And hopefully it won't be the last, because it's something
we
that's
usually
really
text
needed.
talk on every Friday.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying, in this setting, it's special because people get a sense of what I feel every time I'm on the phone with you or texting, you know what I'm saying, or hearts away, because we're busy or what have you know what I'm saying? But we carve out time for one another, which is great. Listen, man, thank you for joining me on in this episode of Locked Up and Locked Out, man. And please join me on many, many more.
No doubt. You my big bro, man. Love you, man.
Word up, man. This is